A flask of chemicals is not the origin of life. A direct response to cringy weeb. Your claim about Miller-Urey does not match what the experiment showed. Cringy weeb, you said the Miller-Urey experiment did not show abiogenesis. You are correct. It did not. It never did. The experiment produced a few amino acids. Amino acids are not life. They do not replicate. They do not store information. They do not form membranes. They do not build proteins on their own. The difference between an amino acid and a living cell is the difference between a pile of bricks and a functioning skyscraper. You are calling building blocks evidence for the finished structure. You are treating the presence of ingredients as proof of the recipe. That is not science. That is wishful thinking. If I give you flour, sugar, and butter, you do not have a cake. You have ingredients that sit there and do nothing. Life does not arise from ingredients. Life arises from a system. The Miller-Urey flask had no system. It had sparks, no code, no arrangement, and no reproduction. Miller-Urey used conditions that do not match early Earth. Even origin of life researchers admit the atmosphere used in the experiment was wrong. Miller used a reducing atmosphere with methane, ammonia, and hydrogen. That is not what early Earth had. The real atmosphere was neutral. When the experiment is repeated under realistic conditions, no amino acids appear. So your main piece of evidence collapses before the debate even starts. Creating amino acids does not solve the information problem. Life needs information. The smallest cell uses thousands of instructions. Amino acids do not write code. They do not create sequences. They do not organize themselves into proteins. Miller-Urey produced random blobs that break apart when exposed to oxygen, light, or heat. They do not move toward life. They break down. You have not shown how random chemistry becomes organized information. You still have no explanation for replication or metabolism. Even if you filled a tank with every amino acid known to man, you would still have no cell. A cell needs a membrane. It needs energy flow. It needs controlled transport. It needs error checking. It needs a genetic storage system. You cannot get any of that from the Miller-Urey setup. You are pointing to a spark and calling it a blueprint. Your confidence is a substitute for evidence. You say Miller-Urey shows the building blocks of abiogenesis. It does not. It shows that amino acids can form under certain lab conditions with human setup and human control. You actually just made my point. The entire experiment worked because intelligent researchers arranged the environment. Without their deliberate design, the flask would have produced nothing useful. You cannot claim that a human-guided experiment proves an unguided process. This is about controlling the frame, not showing the data. You want the discussion stuck at the level of amino acids because that is the only place where you feel safe. You do not want to address the very thing that defines life, which is information-driven replication. So you keep the debate at the ingredient stage to control the conversation. That is how belief systems defend weak foundations. They never move past the surface. Conclusion. You have no evidence that the Miller-Urey experiment shows abiogenesis. You have no proof that amino acids lead to cells. You have no mechanism that moves random chemicals into organized life. You have a claim with no demonstration. When we remove the rhetoric, your argument has nothing left. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment to support this channel.